What's up, everyone? Trent here. Welcome to the Phantom Zone. Thor Issue 1 by Donny Cates, Nick Klein, and Matt Wilson, with Olivia Coipel on covers, has finally arrived after Jason Aaron wrapped up his epic run with King Thor. This has some huge shoes to fill, and in Donny we trust. This issue will set you back $4.99 US. It is oversized, but it is a really well-paced, well-written, great structured issue that goes through to see Thor on his throne bearing the weight of his newfound responsibility after rebuilding Asgard after the War of the Realms. And it's not the Asgard that we're familiar with. It's not the golden halls that Odin had, that's over the top and all pomp and circumstance and regal. No, this is the stone and wood version of Asgard, the ground and pound, the traditional Norse Viking. And from what we see of Asgard in this, it has that a lot more traditional feel to it. Like, his throne is built from parts of Yggdrasil. So you can see there, you've got a rune standing above Thor's throne that stands for Thurisaz, forgive the pronunciation, and it's the symbol for defense and destruction. So that's what Thor is going to be ruling as. He's the defender, but also destructive ruler. And this issue starts off with a great couple of page spreads of Mjolnir going through the 10 realms and how each of those realms are responding to Asgard's new ruler. Like, you have the Light Elves and the Vanir, who are happy to see Mjolnir fly through, but then you have Niflheim and Muspelheim that are not happy at all, but it's a reminder to serve that, if you step out of line, we don't want war again, we want peace, and if there's no peace, there will be thunder. So defense and destruction to obtain peace. And it's really interesting to see, and the very first line, "Far beyond the fields we know," is a nice little callback to the Surtur Saga back in the 80s. This art, Nick Klein on art and Matt Wilson on colours, they are on fire in this. There are some beautiful spreads very early on, catches your eye, and it flows on very nicely from Coipel on covers, actually. It took me a couple of times to realise that this wasn't Coipel at all. But it's really great to see Thor and the weight of the throne is having on him. Mjolnir is feeling heavy. There's a nice conversation with Loki, who's the Lord of Jotunheim at the moment, and Thor looks like he's struggling. He grunted when he picked up Mjolnir, and Loki calls him out on it, but Thor is quick to point out that, I have the powers of the All-Father now, not everything is as it seems, and I'm bearing this weight of responsibility. Mjolnir is a representation of this burden, so it's going to be a good test, and it's a nice little setup in issue 1 for Thor having the responsibility to Asgard. That's going to determine his further determine his worthiness, and I think that's something that's going to be really interesting. But where it really picks up is when a giant cosmic entity crash lands on Asgard in Galactus, and Thor is left to wonder why, just as he's about to give his big address to the Asgardians, who have called forth for his very first public appearance to reinstall that he is the king. Galactus crash lands, and it's a great scene, and what follows is setting up future issues on an epic and grand scale. We've heard of something in the Black Winter. The Black Winter before, it destroyed Galactus's universe before this one, back when he was Galen, and he survived it, and now it's come back, and he has foreseen his death at the hands of the Black Winter. Galactus is missing an arm. He's broken, beaten, and scarred. He's brought a frozen wasteland to Asgard that's lasted weeks after his arrival, because he still hasn't recovered. So we get some really good appearances of the Heralds of Galactus, and the big one, Norrin Radd, who is still the Silver Surfer Black, which is going to be something that's going to be really interesting to see explored, because I have a feeling this is going to play into the Black Winter, because the Black Winter was first mentioned in Silver Surfer Black issue 4, and I have a feeling that's going to tie in, because if Donny's good at one thing, it's building worlds and tying to various issues that he's got. So I wouldn't be surprised if this Black Winter somehow played into Norrin Radd's current form and current state. And it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes forward. As I said, if you want to pick this issue up, I highly recommend it. It's an epic start, great for new readers, fantastic dynamic art. Everything just is immaculate and detailed without being overly done. The scripts support what is being shown on the page really, really well. The layout is excellent. And yeah, I highly recommend this. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on. And we get a really great revelation on the final page that is going to be great to see interact with Galactus and Silver Surfer and the other heralds. And also plays into how Thor gets this epic new costume. So yeah, definitely pick that up. There are a lot of variant covers to this, but I managed to pick up a couple of others. My favorite has to be the Jen Bartel Thor variant. Just the beautiful colors. But can't go past Artgerm either, Stanley Artgerm Lau. And this last one is by Matteo Scalera, which shows Thor going up against Silver Surfer, which reminds me very much of the iconic Silver Surfer 4 pose. But obviously a little bit different. That was just the homage that I got. So yeah, tell us your thoughts on Thor 1 by Donny Cates in the comments below. Did you pick it up? What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, if you want to see more comic book content, please let me know. Subscribe to the channel, follow our handles at Phantom Zone AUS. I'm Trent, and as always, keep it nerdy.